Like everyone, 3 hours plays Kingdom Hearts. We're going back to the Coliseum to get another Keyblade.
Yeah. We'll go fight some boys.
Yeah, we're gonna fight some boys within the Hercules Cup.
Ooh.
Look at him. We're gonna knock him down a few pegs. Or we're gonna get our butt spanked. It's one or the other. It's weird that you have to do the regular, like the team cup, then and if you want extras, you do the solo cup.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just have you do the solo cup first? Make it easier.
Wham.
Gargoyles and they're wasting my time with their purple mist stuff. I'm still not a fan when a game tries to when enemies waste your time. Like, no, I'm invincible now. Some of these enemies actually look like the whites or whatever they're called. These things,
Yeah.
they look worse when not on the Halloween Town world.
Yeah, they don't look good.
The bandages just kind of look cheap now.
Yeah. Whereas in the Halloween Town thing, they actually look like bandages.
Yeah.
That's like... As much as I understand that it would have been a big pain in the ass to have Heartless that only appeared in certain worlds, I feel like that would have almost been more beneficial and would have looked better than to try to be like, hey, there's Pirate Heartless in Traverse Town, or there's Whites in Traverse Town, and like...
I mean, I think for the most part that's what they do, but because the Coliseum doesn't have any unique Heartless to it, it just takes from every other world. Which ultimately results in this weird mishmash because they should not be in this world.
No.
Donald, you bastard, heal me. He's like, nah, Goofy.
Guys, I got bubble tea.
Is it good bubble tea?
Yes.
I can't remember how many rounds are on the Hercules Cup. I feel like it's longer, but I can't remember.
I don't think so. That we started on the 9th seed again. It's the next one that's the ungodly long one.
Yeah, the Hades Cup.
Yeah.
The Hades Cup also one of the only cups that give a until the end of towards the end of the game, the only cups to give a Keyblade stronger than the one you get from this one.
Oh. Is that what we're going for? Is the Hades Cup after this?
No, I think the Hades Cup doesn't show up until a little bit later.
Hmm.
Yeah, this one's just keep it in the air. It's like, not goodbye. Did we do it though, Goofy? I feel like that Heart was just kind of laughing at us. Oh, it's Cloud.
Cloud.
But now we're stronger. I say I'm stronger, but...
I don't like his fucking busted ass Buster Sword.
It's not that it's busted, they just, for some reason, decided bandages.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like, it doesn't even look good. Although, excuse me, since when can Cloud fly?
Since Nomura said, give him a bat wing.
Oh, that's right, because in this one, Cloud and Sephiroth are supposed to be the same thing, essentially.
Yep. Because the funny thing is, I think
Might want to.
Nomura supposedly did the designs for a lot of the Final Fantasy VII characters.
Uh-huh.
and apparently he had some input on their backstories. It's like, why? Like, I'm sorry, but these are not improvements. What you've done in Kingdom Hearts.
No.
Also, like, I get it's easier to because a lot of what the Disney worlds do is like just repeats of the movie.
Yeah.
And I get it's easier to do that for like an hour and a half movie than it is to like abridge it and summarize it for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Than it is, say, like a 30+ hour RPG.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's no proper Final Fantasy world bothers me. When this is supposed to be the big crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney.
They're never gonna do that because Nomura's too busy sucking Disney's dick.
It's not supposed to be. He just thinks there's no like quote unquote hard evidence for this, but a lot of people suspect that that he's still salty over his idea of the Versus 13 trilogy being torn apart. Because there was supposed to be a whole freaking 13 sub-series for Final Fantasy. The Nivola...
Seriously?
Nivola Crystarium or something. 15 was supposed to be called Versus 13. But because 13 didn't do well, or didn't do well critically, they wanted to separate future projects from the 13 number.
Remind me again, 13, was that the one with lightning?
Yeah.
Or... That was one of the only Final Fantasy games that I played before Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, it did not do well. Like, at least not critically.
Though people are still horny for lightning.
It's the internet. They latch on to something and they will not let it go. Yeah, but that's because Nomura was in almost, I don't want to say in charge, I don't remember what his role was, I think, but he was like an executive role in 13 if he wasn't the director.
Yeah.
And even the 3 games he got for 13 were not all that well received.
Well, because there was what, 13,
2, and Lightning Returns.
Yeah. See, I played, I think I played 2, and I started Lightning Returns, and then I, like, gave up because it was fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But those were my introductions to Final Fantasy.
I mean, considering this is a franchise, considering Final Fantasy is a franchise, still convinced 7 is like the be-all, end-all. I don't think that's a good sign for the franchise.
What,
that 7, the first game to release on PS1, for a lot of fans, like, granted, it is entirely rose-tinted glasses that most fans will refuse to acknowledge.
Well, like, that's something that's always bugged me about it, was, like, people seem unable to think really critically about it as a game. And granted, I haven't played it, but, like, I've read through stuff of it. And it just, like, I don't know. I might want to kill.
Yeah.
There you go. I just, like, I don't understand why people have such a fucking hard-on for it.
A lot of it is just because it was their first Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy is one of those franchises where your first will often be the one that you have the most nostalgia for, and the one that means the most to you, because for a lot of them the story has been important. Granted, the story, it didn't really start getting an in-depth story properly until 4. But Final Fantasy has been a series that's been trying to do story and fun RPG for years, and
Get him.
for the most part, I would argue they've succeeded with that. But yeah, I find Final Fantasy is, in a lot of ways, kind of like The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
In that the one that's going to be your favorite will largely be one that one of your earlier times you played it. But that's also because
I hardcore agree with that. and I haven't even played any Zelda games, but it's like, especially after watching us do our playthrough for Ocarina of Time, I, honest to God, do not understand why people think that that's, like, one of the be-all, end-all of, like, Nintendo games.
I would argue Ocarina of Time is good, but I would...
Oh, I'm not saying it's not.
No, I know. I was just gonna say, it's not my favorite, but I think it's good because besides Breath of the Wild, it really did serve as the skeleton for every 3D Zelda game.
Well, yeah. But I don't know. I think there are a lot of games that people are kind of unwilling to look at without those rose-colored glasses with stuff. Like, and honestly, I'm gonna use this game as an example for that. Because Kingdom Hearts, like, while it's a really great game...
I didn't even hold back.
Sorry, are you shaking your head? I can't tell.
No.
Oh. Like, I just... As much as I love it, as much as Kingdom Hearts was one of my favorite series for a really long time, and it's something that you and me bonded over, like, when we first started dating and stuff, was the fact that both of us love Kingdom Hearts. But, like... There's so many problems with it as a game, and as a series in general, and then people are kind of just like, they're so blind to that, and I'm gonna bring up one of our friends as an example of that. Because, like, not that Aaron's gonna be watching this or anything, and I'm not meaning this as a negative thing, Aaron, if you do watch it. But it's more, I feel like half the time people, you know, like Aaron sometimes, will not look at the faults and stuff just because it's one of their favorite things.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and like I'm not gonna say that's like a wrong, like, and as you mentioned, like I'm not saying like it's wrong to do so, because like it's something that means a lot to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think the problem is when vitriol starts getting thrown in when someone disagrees.
Mm.
Like, obviously, if the person's being an asshat about it, that's one thing. But if someone just says, like, oh, I didn't enjoy this game that much, I don't, like, I'll say about Kingdom Hearts 1. I think it's an above average hack and slash game.
Yeah.
Action RPG, but...
I think 2 was by far the best in the series.
Yeah, but when it comes to gameplay, 1 is the one I'm probably going to I would revisit the less just because it's so basic in comparison to the other games.
I don't know, it feels like you're fighting enemies and the camera.
Yeah. Also, we got 2 new Keyblades. We got Hunk of Metal.
The Metal Chocobo.
And the Olympia. I don't like either of these designs, but they're stronger than what I've got.
Yeah.
Go with this one because having a decent magic stat is more important.
What's the one that you get from Hades?
I don't get it from Hades, but if it's from the Hades Cup, you get Sleeping Lion, which is the one based off Leon.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it has much better stats.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's like when people dislike something and then it's like other people throw vitriol at that because you don't like what they like. Like, I'm not gonna name names, but there are people we know that are like that. It's like... It just bugs me.
Yeah.
It's like, because people are allowed to have different opinions.
I'm gonna see if I can do anything to slightly improve this.
Make it look more like a penis.
I was gonna say make it look more like a random rainbow. And we'll see you on the next episode of Three Dorks Play.
Goodbye, everyone. We're never coming back.
No?
No. This is the last episode ever of Three Dorks. That's a lie. Goodbye.